Welcome to another episode of the Hyperion Adventures podcast. I'm Tom. I'm here with my lovely wife, Michelle.
Hello, everybody.
So good to have you joining us for another week. Thank you for however you found us, whether it be on SoundCloud or on Stitcher. You could subscribe to us on iTunes and Google Play Music, and we'll come right to your device. You won't have to try and search us out. We'll just be right there for you every time we have a new episode. And if you get a chance and you're on those sites, please give us a quick review. It really will help us immeasurably to get some fans just like you that like the stuff that we talk about, that like to hear Disney podcasts, so they can kind of find out about us. We'd really appreciate if you do that.
Right. And again, we always love the feedback too. Mm-hmm. So any either requests for information on or any feedback on things that you've heard, please let us know about that as well.
Absolutely. We want to be an interactive show. We want to hear from you. We want, your questions. If you have stories that you want us to talk about on the show, if there's just stories you want us to talk about off the air, we're happy to do that too. Or if you just want to say hi to us, tell us what you think of the show, we'd really appreciate it. And we're still going to look for what we're going to call the OG Hyperion Adventurers. There's already been a couple people that have sent us notes that want to join into this original group that got us off the ground floor. As we grow this podcast, we're going to have some special things for you. So please contact us. Let us know who you are, where you're listening from, and will we get this package together, no matter what it is, mugs, hats, T-shirts, maybe some meetups in some places. We're going to get that to you. You can contact us on Twitter at Hyperion Podcast, on Facebook and Instagram at Hyperion Adventures Podcast. You can email us at HyperionAdventuresPodcast@gmail.com, and you can find us on the web at HyperionAdventuresPodcast.com.
Yes, and we're very excited for the people that we've heard so far. This is thrilling, and we do have some things that we have started the plans on, so you'll be hearing more about that soon.
By the way, we're going to cut that off, I think, for the OG Hyperion Adventurers. I think I'm going to cut that off at the end of August. So August 31st, please get your emails, find us on Twitter, on Facebook, whatever. Find us and get your name in with us before that point so we can get you out these goodies and you could be an OG Hyperion Adventurer. So let's go no further here. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, and we're really excited about this. It's the CHOC Walk in the Park presented by the Disneyland Resort. It's happening on Sunday, August 26th. Such a great event. We've taken part in it in the past, and I know that some of our listeners out there would love to be a part of this. But us talking about is one thing. We thought we should bring an expert on to really tell you all about how great this thing is. So joining us today is Zach Abrams. He's the Assistant Vice President of Community Engagement and Special Events for the CHOC Children's Foundation. Zach, Tom, and Michelle with the Hyperion Adventures podcast, thank you so much for joining us on this Sunday. I'm sure you're really busy, only a month out from this thing.
Oh, thank you, Tom. Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, we're really excited about this year's CHOC Walk coming up on August 26th. We truly are having a lot of fun getting ready and just putting in all the details and the experience and a lot of fundraising, a lot of events coming up in between, and it's excited to share this with your listeners.
Excellent. So, Zach, I have a question for you because I know we really see the benefit of this wonderful event, but can you tell us and tell our listeners, where do these funds go?
Well, the funds are vital to CHOC. Every year through the CHOC Walk, we raise over $2 million, sometimes $3 million to support the care services and research at CHOC Children's Hospital. And the funds that we raise, they go to what we call our Kids Care Fund. And that fund truly is a fund that we use to provide care for children that are underinsured, a program that we call Child Life, which truly is what I call the heart and soul of the hospital. So when a child comes into our hospital, we can still do things that let them be kids, whether it's toys that we use as distraction, art therapy, music therapy. We have a radio station. So all of these funds truly help to provide those types of experiences for the children. And then, we have a lot of children that are underinsured, as well as some that don't have any insurance. So these funds also allow us to provide care for any child, regardless of their family's ability to pay.
Wow. It really is such a great place. The Children's Hospital of Orange County, which the funds go to benefit these children that are having a tough go of it, but it really is so special. Zach, could you tell us a little bit of history? Like, how did the CHOC Walk originally come about? I know it's been going for, 28 years now? It's really an incredible thing.
Well, the relationship with the hospital and the Disneyland Resort actually goes back over, almost 50-plus years with Walt Disney. And so, yeah, I know, it's incredible. So when when CHOC was at a place where they knew they needed a children's hospital in Orange County, they reached out to community leaders, Walt Disney being one of them. So we've always had that relationship with Walt and the park. And so I would say about 29 years ago, we had a couple of members from the Disneyland Resort team and the current president at the time said, what if we could bring the park or the walk to the park? What would that look like? And so the CHOC Walk was born.
It's so great, too, because especially for the people that maybe are used to doing the Run Disney events out at the park and they haven't been able to do that because of all the construction and everything going on. This is another way not only to go out there and have that joy of going through kind of a 5K through the park, even though it's a walk, not a run, but also it's benefiting such a wonderful cause. And I really think our people out there would have so much fun doing this. Could you maybe tell them what they might expect as this event goes on?
Well, you're right. It's very different from the Disney Run. The CHOC Walk in the park, we ask that everyone fundraise and or make a donation of a minimum of $85. And what that allows you is entrance into the park for the CHOC Walk that morning. We kick off at about 6 in the morning, and we usually wrap up around 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. Participants get a wristband and a T-shirt with their minimum $85 that they fundraise. Now, they can also fundraise or donate more. Inspired from our friends at Disneyland, we have a gorgeous medallion that was designed by artist Jeff Granino. And so when you raise $275, you get your medallion, you get your CHOC Walk pin. We have prizes from Chick-fil-A, Rubio's, Chuck E. Cheese. I mean, we've got tons of prizes and ways and incentives for folks to fundraise. But when they get there in the morning, we have parking is free, so Disney takes care of all of that. And then we line up on Main Street, and there's about 15,000 people. So it spills out into the Esplanade. There's folks in T-shirts and with signs and banners. And then Disney creates an incredible opening moment and show for us. And in that moment, we always choose one special child, and that child and their family are our ambassadors for the year. So Disney's president, Josh, will be there, our CEO, Kim Kripe, and then our ambassador family. So there's usually some kind of streamers or confetti or sometimes even fireworks. It just depends on the creativity for the year. We typically have some fun, some characters that help us warm up in the morning. And then in addition to that, as you walk through both parks, sometimes you get a little backstage peekaboo, and then they have characters throughout the entire walk, and just photo opportunities that are just so abundant. So when you think about when you're in the park and you're waiting to get to meet a character, well, during the CHOC Walk, there's so many different characters, all the way from princesses to stormtroopers to superheroes like Captain America. I mean, it really is an incredible experience. And then when walkers are finished and they get to the finish line, they have special discounts in downtown Disney. So we post all of those incentives on our CHOC Walk page at chocwalk.org. We also have it on our Facebook page as well. And then if you want to go back in the park and you're not an annual pass holder, you have the opportunity to buy up to 5 discounted park hoppers indoor tickets. And usually those tickets are good for a couple of weeks. And we'll have details as far as the pricing for that pretty soon. But it's usually a pretty good discount, sometimes 30 or even 40% off the ticket price.
Nice, a real win-win.
It really is. I mean, it's hard to put into words just how magical that morning is. When you're watching families that are walking in honor of their child, or they're walking with a child, there's one memory that I love. We have a little boy, his name is Chance, and he's been a patient at CHOC for his whole life. And that was actually a couple of years ago. For him, he needs help walking. And so he got out of his wheelchair, and he was able to cross the finish line walking with the help of his family.
That's so touching.
What a wonderful story that is. That is fantastic. Yeah, I know you talk about the experience of being out there on the course. We did it a couple years ago, and it really is, as opposed to, we talked about the Run Disney events, and yeah, you can take some pictures when you're out there, but this is really special where you can really get a lot of pictures because of the walk in the park and the characters all out there. One of the best things we saw out there was when we were going past the carousel, and several of the princesses were riding around on the carousel, just kind of waving to the people as they passed by, and it really was a wonderful moment.
Right. Magical is a good descriptor for that day and that event.
It really is, Michelle. It really is magical.
So, you mentioned about the website, and I wanted to really commend, I'm registered, and I went on there, and we're using all the tools and the tips, and it was amazing how easy it is once you have your page, which was easy to open up, and I'm not a geek in that regards, and it was just so impressive how just with a few clicks of buttons, and I had on my Facebook, things going out about the walk and, about helping me do some fundraising. And so really want to commend you all. That's a fantastic tool out there at your website.
Oh, thank you. We've worked I've been at CHOC for 12 years, and we work every year to add new tools, and we're always trying to refine everything. And this year, too, we've been able to add an additional feature that makes it easy for companies or groups as well as families to register multiple users, too.
Nice.
And so it's really easy, like Michelle said here, to get on there and help, either whether to register yourself, get them notice out there that you're doing this so you can help fundraise, but also if you're looking for someone, maybe if you can't make it out there, but you do want to help out, you can find these people, companies, and so forth, and really get out there and donate and really help this wonderful organization in the Children's Hospital of Orange County.
Right. And
Absolutely.
And Zach, I just want to clarify, for our listeners, it's not too late. It's not too late to get involved either as a participant or as a donator. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. We have up until Saturday the 25th to register. Unfortunately, the day of the CHOC Walk or the morning of the CHOC Walk, we can't register any more walkers, but you have up until Saturday, and we actually set up what we call CHOC Walk check-in, and the information is located on our website, but we're going to have a temporary CHOC Walk office in Costa Mesa the week before, and walkers can either register online or come down there, register, pick up their T-shirt and their wristband, their medallion, and then we also create a special commemorative CHOC Walk pin. Definitely you'll see a lot of influences from our friends at Disneyland, and walkers can also get their pin and their medallion as well. And then Disney also creates a special annual pass holder team, and this year the incentives for being on the annual pass holder team are incredible. So pass holders have the option of getting the annual pass holder T-shirt when they raise their $85, as well as a second special commemorative pin, and then they have some extra goodies as well. And then the top fundraiser on the annual pass holder team will receive 6 hours of a VIP guided tour in the park, including a hotel room at the Disneyland Resort.
That's an incredible prize. That is really, I think we're going to start working on that right now. That's special. Wow, that's fantastic. And from what I understand, the fundraising doesn't have to end just right before the actual CHOC Walk. It can continue on for about a month after that, as long as you have enough to get into the CHOC Walk, but then you can continue to fundraise for another month. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I mean, we've got some great grand prizes. We have a special night that we have at the Anaheim Ducks. We call it CHOC Night,
Nice.
and it's there. It's incredible. So you can win suites, you can win Disney park hoppers and Disney park tickets. So, for example, if somebody raises $800, they can win 2 park hoppers that are good for up to a year after the CHOC Walk. And you have till the end of September to fundraise for all those great prizes.
That's awesome.
That's great. And I know that this, of course, this is all about the actual CHOC Walk in the park, but there are also some other events that are going on in and around this that also some of the participants and even non-participants can take part in. Is that correct?
Correct. So, if you can't make it to the CHOC Walk, or maybe, a walk isn't your speed, although we stroll through the park, so it's pretty fun.
Right.
But on August the 25th, we're hosting our first annual CHOC Rock and Luau, which was created by several of our CHOC Walk ambassadors. So it's a Hawaiian-themed luau that we're hosting at Splitsville in downtown Disney from 3 to 6 p.m. the night before the CHOC Walk. So if your magic is starting a little early or this is more your speed, you can come down, register online at chocwalk.org, and you'll see the CHOC Walk and Luau. Jimmy Mulligan, artist Jimmy Mulligan's going to be there. We have Polynesian dancers from Tapua Productions who also perform in downtown Disney.
Oh.
We have hula lessons for the kids. I've even heard that Elvis might show up and sing a number, a little Blue
Nice.
Hawaii there. And we actually have a special CHOC Rock and Luau commemorative pin that was also designed by Jeff Granino, and then some hoodies and some T-shirts. All the food and drinks are included, so it's all part of the price. And then just because we are at a bowling alley, we are going to host a mini tournament. And so, folks will have a chance to do some bowling and have a lot of fun, music, and enjoy the island paradise that we're creating in downtown Disney.
And I believe you encourage people to dress up in their best Hawaiian shirts and everything to really get into the ambiance of the whole event, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm ready. I already have my Hawaiian shirt picked out and ready to go.
Nice, nice. Well, this is great because I know some people, they might not have the availability to actually attend the CHOC Walk, so it's nice that on another day they can still enjoy the fun for a great worthy cause.
Absolutely. And again, at this event, 100% of the funds raised go to CHOC Children's and help our kids.
That's fabulous.
Well, Zach, thank you so much for taking your time out of your busy Sunday, and especially busy as we're only about a month away from this event. We really appreciate you informing our listeners about this great event. I mean, it really is for such a great cause, and it really, even more than that, I mean, yes, it's for a great cause, but it is so much fun, and we really encourage our listeners to get out there, and whether you take part in it yourself or to just kind of support out there and help donate some money to it, you can find out all the information you need on chocwalk.org. But Zach, thank you again for your time. We really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Tom. Thank you, Michelle. We'll see you on August 25th.
Definitely.
We're looking forward to it.
Thank you.
So thanks again to Zach Abrams. He's the Assistant Vice President of Community Engagement and Special Events for the CHOC Children's Foundation. Really is a wonderful event. We can't recommend it enough. If you have the opportunity, get out there on the 26th and go do this thing. It's really fun, and it's for such a wonderful cause.
Right. And it was really also very exciting to hear about the Rock and Luau on the 25th.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
At Splitsville. So that's, if you can't make it to the CHOC Walk, if that day isn't available, then the day before you can still have some fun. And, again, as I mentioned before, really help a very worthy cause.
And again, if you want to look up any information, one, you can contact us. We'll help you out with anything to get you set up for this. But also, of course, go to chocwalk.org, and that's where you can find all the information to sign up, whether to donate to anybody. And we're going to be out there. If you guys are going out there, we're going to be out there. Look for us. I know it's going to be like 15,000 people, so
right.
You may not be able to find us out there. But if you do, come by, say hi, tell us you listen to the show. We look forward to meeting you all.
Right. And at a future episode here, we'll tell you what our costumes will be. Right?
Oh.
I'm still in the process of mine, so I don't want to say anything yet because it's not finalized.
All right, we've got about a month to go, so we'll work that out.
Yeah.
So. That was great. Love the CHOC Walk. Now let's get to, every week we do, let's get to the Disney stories of the week. Lots of big news, always big news, every week Disney related, and this was another one. We'll start off with some information from the parks. Disney announced this week that they are working to eliminate plastic waste, or at least definitely cut it down on all their parks and actually all their companies, all their different branches of the company. What they want to do is by mid-2019, the Walt Disney Company is going to eliminate single-use plastic straws and plastic stirrers, and those will be doing it at all the owned and operated locations around the globe. And they say that's going to amount to a reduction of more than 175 million straws and 13 million stirrers annually.
Right. The Disney company is really dedicated to being a green organization.
They have been since Walt.
Right, exactly. Good point. And so this is, just another step in that, and we're really proud to see them take this action.
In addition to that, over the next few years, they say they're going to transition to refillable in-room amenities. I know you saw that when you were at the Walt Disney World in the cabins just last, what was it, May?
Right.
Or June. No, it was June.
Right, in June.
Yeah, so it's already started out there. That they say by doing that is going to reduce plastics in guest rooms by 80%. They're also reducing the number of plastic shopping bags they're going to be giving out on the cruise line in the parks. Instead, they're going to be offering reusable bags at a nominal price, kind of what we've seen, at least in California. I don't know what it's like in the rest of the country, but they've passed a law recently where if you want a bag now in California, it's like a 10-cent charge. And so I believe that's probably what Disney is doing, something along those lines as well.
Right.
They're also going to try and get rid of polystyrene cups and just single-use plastic. So that's great news. I'm glad. We really believe in a sustainable type business. We really appreciate that. Even though it may be some difficulties to some people transitioning to this, I think it's important for our planet.
Right. And, again, we really want to applaud Disney for doing that because, anytime you make a major change like that, it is a challenge for a company that big that purchases that many products. So, the fact that they're taking this on, it also is a very costly thing to do those types of changes. So,
absolutely.
Kudos to Disney.
There will be many complaints for people that have difficulty finding straws, or what they're going to. I think they're going to transition to some sort of paper type straw. Now, if they could the one other thing I would suggest that they do is, those gas-powered cars that they're Autopia and the Tomorrowland Speedway? Yes. Can we work on something electric? Those things, as much as we enjoy them, they're stinky, they're loud,
right.
And, how much emissions are those putting out? That would be my next step that I would hope that they could accomplish at some point, personally. Right. So, moving on, more news from the parks. They announced today, or not today, but this week at the Disneyland Resort, the holiday time date has been announced. So Seasonal Magic will return to the merriest place on earth on November 9th through January 6th. That's our favorite time of year at the park.
Right. And, it is, very cool how at the parks they do holiday up some, not just their regular decorations, but some of the attractions really change to be a more holiday flavor to them. And that's always so exciting and, can't be missed.
Right. They'll be having the holiday overlays at the Cars Land attractions. It would be Luigi's Joy to the Whirl and Mater's Jingle Jamboree. And of course, they will start before Halloween. They will do the overlay for the Haunted Mansion, the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay there, and Small World.
That's the best.
Small World, that's your favorite. Mixing Jingle Bells along with Small World is always a lot of fun. So they're also going to have at Disney California Adventure Park, the Festival of All Holidays will return. So all the little food booths and different musical acts that show up out there. And that's a lot of fun. And they'll also have the Disney Viva Navidad street party, which we've seen, which is always a good time as well. And so that'll be a lot of fun. They're going to have the Believe in Magic Fireworks Spectacular over Sleeping Beauty's Winter Castle. Of course, is another overlay that comes back for the holidays. And a Christmas Fantasy Parade will return at that time. So all those things, really fun events, and Disney's a magical place anyway, the Disneyland Resort. And when you get to the holidays, and Walt Disney World too, when you get to the holidays, it really is a special, special place.
Right. And this week I've been tweeting with some of our listeners and friends over in Europe and talking about how beautiful Disneyland Paris is. And as I tweeted out last night, I can't wait for us. We're trying to get something coordinated for not this Christmas, but maybe next Christmas to be at Disneyland Paris to see how that rolls out during the holidays.
That'd be a lot of fun. By the way, if you ever follow us on Twitter, you'll notice that you can probably tell the difference between who's tweeting out, because there's certain ways that we both tweet. I kind of tend to go more newsy, and try and promote. She's very friendly out there. And if you ever see anything in French from our Twitter account, that is Michelle. Michelle speaks some French.
Minor league. But you can also hit the translate button too. We get a lot of great news and fun things from people over in Europe that may come across in French. So, don't discard those. Those are really great tweets as well.
Right. So I was talking about the Christmas Fantasy Parade that's going to be returning for the holiday season. Well, one parade that's not going away, actually two parades that are not going away at the Disneyland Resort anytime in the immediate future are the Paint the Night and the Pixar Play Parades. They have been extended. Now, the Pixar Fest, which is ending on September 4th, that'll be all wrapped up then as we get to the end of the summer into Labor Day. But the parades will be continuing on past that. They haven't given an end date yet, although I would imagine it'll be when they start the Christmas Fantasy Parade, or probably when they decide to transition away from that. And then we'll see what happens once they get through the holiday season. But good news, if you haven't gone to either have never seen it or have not had a chance to since it's returned to go see the Paint the Night Parade or the Pixar Play Parade, you still have your chance probably until November when those holiday parades start.
Right, and definitely if you get a chance and you haven't seen them yet, they're fantastic. And last week they did a live stream, so you can also look for that if you just cannot get out to Disneyland.
Right, it was a good show, but it really doesn't compare to actually seeing it in person. It really is fantastic, all these lights and the music, and this just really is a lot of fun.
And you just get really pumped up with the music.
Absolutely. It's one of our favorites. It's one of my running songs, by the way, that song. It's a song out of Wreck-It Ralph that they've transitioned into kind of make it work with the parade, and it's really a lot of fun. So really, if you get a chance, go out and see that. Speaking of Disneyland, there's another big event coming on that's not actually Disneyland, but it is Disneyland related. If you've ever wanted to own a piece of Disneyland history, we might now have your chance.
Ooh, what? Pray tell.
There is an auction with memorabilia from 6 decades at the Disneyland Resort that's going to be held. It's actually the same weekend as the CHOC Walk, so maybe you can go up on the Saturday before and then check out the auction and then go do the CHOC Walk on Saturday. It's the August 25th and 26th. It's the That's From Disneyland auction. It contains 750 items collected by agent Richard Kraft, who represented, among others, Disney legends Alan Menken, Richard Sherman, and Danny Elfman. So over the years, he's collected all these wonderful things, and now he's going to be putting them up for auction. He's going to donate a portion of the proceeds from the auction to benefit the Coffin-Siris Syndrome Foundation and Chime Institute for Early Educations. That's 2 organizations benefiting children with special needs. And it's going to be held by the Van Eaton Galleries up in, I believe it's Sherman Oaks, California, in an abandoned sporting goods store. Really cool stuff. You got to check out some of the stuff they're going to be up. There's like I said, there's 750 things up for auction. They're expecting to receive bids anywhere from $200 to $150,000, depending on the item. So lots of cool stuff out there. Among the things that are going to be out there, these are some of the bigger ticket items. The original sea serpent that you would discover at the end of the submarine voyage. You know, you'd come around and you get to the end of it, and there was this goofy looking sea serpent. Well, the original one, he is going to be up for bid out there. An enchanted tiki room audio animatronic Jose is going to be up for bid.
Wow, that's impressive.
All 4 original stretching portraits from the Haunted Mansion are going to be up for bid.
Wow, that is some really amazing things.
You know what would fill out your living room? How about a car from Dumbo the Flying Elephant?
Nice.
That is going to be up for bid, and that is actually one that's expected to get anywhere from $100,000 to $150,000 on bid, and I don't blame him. I would love to I could just pop that right in the living room and just sit down in Dumbo and watch TV or whatever. It'd be great.
Right.
Huge neon letter D from the original Disneyland Hotel is going to be up for auction. An original Disneyland ticket booth is going to be up for auction.
Well, those sound pretty amazing, pretty cool. Let me check on the balance of our checkbook.
And it's really, there's other things. There's a Doom buggy that you could purchase. There's so many items. You really have to go check it out. It really is going to be fun. And not only if you can't afford to bid on these, and by the way, there's things, like I said, from $200 on up. So there's posters, there's original drawings of like Tomorrowland, a lot of artwork, all sorts of different stuff. So, you know, if you're looking to have a little piece of Disneyland history, this might be an event that is interesting you. But if you don't want to spend on this, you can still go check this stuff out. It's going to be on display at the site from August 1st, so just this coming Wednesday, August 1st, through the auction. So if you want to just go down there and kind of take a look at these items, they're allowing it in. It's perfectly free. You can go check them out. It's going to be Wednesday through Sunday from noon to 8 p.m. Here's the address. It's 13730 Riverside Drive in Sherman Oaks, California. Open to the public. So you can go and check those out. And I think that, I don't know if we're going to bid on anything, but maybe we might take a weekend journey up there and go, check some of these items out. Maybe we'll share some of the pictures on social media when we do.
Exactly.
So that'd be a lot of fun. And that is an amazing auction. And I saw this thing and I was like, wow. Oh, to own some of this stuff. It's so exciting.
Right. Oh my gosh. Couldn't imagine.
So, moving on from Disneyland news into, we always like to talk about Star Wars, and big Star Wars news this week. If you haven't heard, the shooting for Episode 9, the yet untitled Episode 9 of Star Wars, is beginning this week, also on August 1st. Of course, J.J. Abrams is returning to direct, and he co-wrote it with Chris Terrio. They're going to be beginning filming at London's Pinewood Studio, like I said, on August 1st, this Wednesday. And the cast, we now know officially, I mean, we could have assumed who much of this cast would be, but now we know officially who the cast will be. So here are the returning cast members. Of course, there's Daisy Ridley, who we know is Rey.
Right.
Adam Driver, who is Kylo Ren / Ben Solo. He's returning. John Boyega, Finn. Oscar Isaac, Poe Dameron, Lupita Nyong'o as Maz, of course. She'll be in it again.
That's awesome.
Now joining the cast are Naomi Ackie, Richard E. Grant, and we talked about this just a couple weeks ago, Kerry Russell. We don't know what her part will be yet, but she is returning, or she is going to be in this movie, so we know that officially now. Also, veteran Star Wars actors Mark Hamill is going to be back, so we know for sure we're at least going to get a little Luke. And, spoiler alert, Luke kind of vanished at the end of Last Jedi, so we didn't know exactly what we'd see him, and we still don't know what we'll see him as here. Is he going to have some sort of role? Is it going to be flashbacks? Is he going to be a Force ghost? We don't know, but he definitely will be back. He's officially part of the cast. Anthony Daniels as C-3PO, of course, will be back, and we also talked about this earlier. Billy D. Williams will reprise his role as Lando Calrissian. So.
Right, so it's really going to be fun, I think, to see some of the newer cast members that are coming onto it, and then some real classics from the very original trilogy all coming together in this. And this is a sweet way to wrap it up.
Yeah. And okay, so the biggest news out of this was, so it was good to find out that Mark Hamill's going to be back. But the biggest news, because we wondered about this ever since her untimely passing, and The Last Jedi is, would Carrie Fisher be returning in some way? Would they do something? Who's going to play Leia? How are they going to write around her? Well, apparently she will definitely be returning as Leia Organa, as Princess Leia, as General Leia. She will be back. Apparently they're going to use previously unreleased footage shot for The Force Awakens. So they're going I guess they're going to find enough of that, or they're going to write around it. It's a good thing that they kind of wrote a lot of this after these things happen, so they could find the footage and kind of write around it to make this script possible. So it looks like she will be back, and that's exciting news.
Right, that it is really exciting, and it's so touching. And I applaud again Disney Company for really, and Lucasfilms for really attaching this legend to to this episode and kind of wrapping it up. And, I know that's got to be a daunting task, because there's always going to be a lot of expectations, and not to mention the challenges of what is available that's already recorded, and it's also great that it's not CGI. It's going to be really her. So that is really sweet news.
So here's what J.J. Abrams had to say about it. He said, quote, "We desperately loved Carrie Fisher. Finding a truly satisfying conclusion to the Skywalker saga without her eluded us. We were never going to recast or use a CG character. With the support and blessing from her daughter, Billy, who is also, by the way, returning to the cast. Nice. We have found a way to honor Carrie's legacy and role as Leia in Episode 9 by using unseen footage we shot together in Episode 7. So that's great news. I mean, it really is an important thing to have Luke and Leia back there for the finality of Episode 9, which finishes off this part of the trilogy.
Right. So just remember to bring your tissues.
I need to bring tissues to everything I go to.
That
you know
is
that
true.
about me. So
that is true.
Great news, great Star Wars news, and that's exciting. One more Disney story I want to get to before we get to our tips. We talked about this for weeks, including last week. It's official as of Friday. Disney and 21st Century Fox deal has been approved by the shareholders of both companies. So that is going to go through. We're going to see this transition, all these different characters and shows and movies from the 21st Century Fox franchise are going to be now joining with Disney. It doesn't mean that they're starting tomorrow, but they expect to finalize it by somewhere mid-2019. They just need to get some approval from the governments in China, the European Union, and so forth. So that's great news. We're excited to see all these characters come back under the Disney umbrella.
Right, it is. And it's exciting to see that Disney's going to be linked with some newer characters and newer shows. And again, like we jokingly said, who's going to be the next Disney princess?
You think it's going to be Homer Simpson?
Or Marge.
Or Marge. Lisa, come on.
I know.
So that's great news, and we're excited by that. So that's it for our show to this point, but we don't wrap it up until we give our tips of the week. We love to get you out there and tell you what might help you on your next vacation, whether it be just a day at the parks, whether it be on Disney Cruise Line, whether it be out and about, just enjoying Disney every day. And so we do this to wrap up every show. And as always, the one who starts us off is Michelle.
Well, thank you, Tom. Okay, so just want to give a little tip. If you really ever want to make one of your trips a little bit more magical, a little bit more pixie dust, there is the Disney Floral and Gift site that has that ability to really make something additionally special. So you can, if you're at Disney World, you can have either a gift basket, a balloon arrangement, a cake, or anything. They have so many things to choose from there that it can be delivered directly to either a resort or to a restaurant. And we've used that services at both of those types of settings.
Yeah, you did it for my birthday a couple years ago. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks. And it really is fun. And so if you go to the Disney Floral and Gift site, they have some pre-established gift baskets, as I said, and floral arrangements, or you can start from scratch where you pick, what the container is and what other additional things you want on it. It's really easy to use online. You can find, how to pick things by characters, or by, if you want snacks, or, if you want wine, if you want it to be a romantic thing or a funny thing, you just want like some special popcorn in the room, and it's wrapped up so cute. And they have things as low as $30 on up, and again, you can customize even the ones that they have already established. You can add a few things. I think that's one of the things I did for your birthday. I added, some Tinkerbells and some other little things to an existing one. And we've also done some from scratch. At Disneyland California, they can do that also for the hotels. But what's really nice about here on the West Coast is it's not just the Disneyland hotels, which is what happens at, when you think of Disney World, but they also go to some of the area neighborhood hotels. So if you check that out and you select Disneyland, there's a lot of hotels in the area that you can also send a basket to. So again, you can manage it all, online at their site, or you can call and ask for special requests. I called them. They're the most friendliest people ever and really helpful, and they want to do everything possible to make it special. And, going back to what we talked about, having it sent to a restaurant, you can have it, you can specialize or decide if you want it at the table before you're seated, or if you want it brought out during, the meal or during dessert. If somebody wants to do a proposal, they can have that also, linked in with it. So they really are there to help make it a fun and very special situation for you. So I would recommend, if you really, again, want to put a little extra special into your trip, you can consider doing that.
Yeah, that is a great idea, and really was fun, and I really appreciated when you got that for me when we were out there a couple of years ago for my birthday. And it really does add just a little boost, a little specialness. I mean, it's special enough to be out there, but like you said, that little extra pixie dust when you're out there it could be for your children, it could be for your spouse, your significant other, whatever it may be. It could be somebody, maybe it's just something you send to, maybe you're not even going out there, but you're sending it to family members that are going out there to make their special day that much better.
That's right.
Really is a lot of fun. So that's a great tip, and really take advantage of that access out there. So my tip is going to be very simple today. We're in the summertime. It's busy at the parks. It's rush. You're trying to get to the next attraction. You're trying to get to the next show. You're trying to get to a meal. I'm going to talk a little bit about slowing down just a little piece once in a while and just taking in what is, and especially I'm going to talk about, this works for a little bit for the Walt Disney World Resort as well, but I'm going to talk about the Disneyland Resort specifically, and that is to just enjoy taking a stroll down Main Street, because there is so much to take in when you're going down Main Street. There's all the different, we've talked about this in past episodes, all the different writings and different information on the windows themselves. You see a lot of names up there. Those are all people that have had some part in creating what you're seeing, what you're enjoying out there in those parks, and taking it in. And maybe you can even get a little book and find and research, right? Write down some of the names, look them up later, who some of these people are and what part they played, because they really played some wonderful parts in bringing the magic that you experience when you're out there at these resorts. So it's really fun to go just take a time, walk down there. There's some certain places where you can go to where if you just take a kind of a side area and just listen, and sometimes it'll say something like piano lessons. And if you just listen at certain times, you'll suddenly hear somebody out the window playing piano and maybe doing some singing, and just randomly out these windows. It's those extra little ambiance notes that Disney provides that really make it special.
Right. And it is really special. And it is, nice to just kind of step aside from all the crowds. And, you may be on a mission to get to a certain attraction, but taking some time, like you said, throughout the day is really wonderful to do and really get you to appreciate even more the specialness of the location you're at, the uniqueness of it, and how amazing that really was the start of so many wonderful things after that.
So that's, you can do that at both the Magic Kingdom Park in the Walt Disney World Resort and, of course, at Disneyland Park in the Disneyland Resort. You can do both those things, walking down Main Street and taking it in. What you can really only do now at the Disneyland Park that you can't really do at Walt Disney World is taking advantage of the little vehicles that go up and down Main Street. They have horse-drawn carriage. They have little cars that can take you up there. They have what I'm specifically going to talk about here is the double-decker bus. Really take advantage of and go on those. Those used to be like the A-ticket rides. It's like the ride you have at all of these tickets. Went back from the days when you would get a ticket booklet. You'd use all your E, Ds, C's. You'd use up all those tickets, but you'd always have all these A's left. Well, those were those rides. But really, sometimes it's nice to just take a break out of your day and just kind of ride down Main Street in one of those. You can talk to the person driving. They're usually very friendly. They have some interesting stories to tell. But like I said, I'm talking mostly about the double-decker bus. Go up on the second floor of the double-decker bus at the Disneyland Park at the Disneyland Resort. It gives you a whole different perspective of Main Street from being up that high and kind of going down the street, and you can see some things that you haven't seen before.
Right.
Taking some of the forced perspective that they've created there on Main Street. It really is interesting, and it's amazing to look at. Plus, you can do a little people watching as you're going past these people down. It really is a lot of fun, and it's just something you may not think about doing because you're probably, like I said, rushing to get to your next attraction, next show, your meal, whatever it may be, but something you can just kind of slow down and take in and take a bit of the park that maybe you've never experienced before.
Right. That's one of my favorite things, too. It's just, like you said, it's a really different perspective on the park. It really lets you at that moment just be in the moment. You're riding on a double-decker bus down Main Street, in the happiest place in the world, and it's just so special. I know it sounds corny, but it is a really special moment that if you don't do it, you've really missed out on something.
You really have. It's a lot of fun, and you really, again, it's something that you may not take notice of, again, rushing into the parks, but this is really a time to slow down and enjoy it every once in a while, especially maybe if you're going to these parks a couple days and you've already experienced some of the main rides, just something you can kind of do to kind of take it all in. So that's it for another episode of the Hyperion Adventures podcast. Once again, we'd like to thank our guest today, Zach Abrams, Assistant Vice President of Community Engagement and Special Events for the CHOC Children's Foundation, talking about the CHOC Walk in the Park presented by the Disneyland Resort. We really, really recommend you look into this. If not this year, maybe you plan on doing it next year. It really is a lot of fun. We were kind of short notice on this thing this year, so we didn't really have time to form a team, but I guarantee you next year, we are going to put a team together, a Hyperion Adventurers team, and we'd love for you to be a part of it, but that shouldn't stop you if you have the chance to get out here and do it this about a month from now on August 26th. And if you want any more information on that, go to chocwalk.org.
Right. And it's not too late. And, you'll really feel great whether you get to actually go there and participate as a walker there or stroller,
Yeah.
or if you, are just participating throughout, like as a donor or whatever. But it's really, you'll feel great doing it.
It's a lot of fun. And like I said, especially for anybody who's intimidated by the Run Disney events, maybe you don't want to run. It's a nice casual walk through the park, and they really go all out. I mean, the characters, we weren't kidding about the characters being everywhere. There's many more photo opportunities because you're strolling along. You can get many more pictures. Really is a great event. Highly recommend it. Like I said, go to chocwalk.org or contact us, and we'll be happy to talk with you about it as well if there's something we can do to help inspire you to take part in this event.
Right. And yeah, I can't emphasize more on that. Enough on that is the picture taking, because again, in Run Disney, especially if you're doing some of the timed events, you're looking at your time maybe, and you might not take that opportunity to really stop and take some pictures. Here, you absolutely have that opportunity. It's really encouraged. And, a real shout out to all the cast members that work there that morning, because they really are cheering everyone on and making everybody feel good. And while you're waiting, actually, and, Zach was kind of talking about this at the beginning, before the actual start, there's a lot of fun activities, and sometimes they're sharing some really heartwarming stories, and, you just get chills being there.
These kids are so great.
It is.
They're helping support.
Right.
The organization, the Children's Hospital of Orange County, is so great. So really recommend it. So again, thanks for joining us once again. Next week, we're going to be giving you our spoiler-free review of Christopher Robin. We're going on Tuesday, the 31st. So unfortunately, because our show doesn't air until Sunday, some of you may have already seen this movie. However, if you watch our social media pages, we will be giving you our initial responses. I'm going to write something up on our website, and we'll put that out there on social media as well. So you can get that spoiler-free review before the show if you're going on Friday or maybe Thursday night or Friday or Saturday. And then, of course, we will actually go over it again, our spoiler-free review on Sunday when we record our next podcast. But it's really exciting. We're looking forward to seeing it. It looks adorable.
Wait. It does look adorable. And so I just can't wait. I know it's going to be a lot of fun to see that. And we're looking forward to being able to share that with you as well.
Absolutely. So to find us on social media, on Twitter at Hyperion Podcast, on Facebook and Instagram at Hyperion Adventures Podcast, on the web where I'm going to post that Christopher Robin review on the 1st, probably. I'm going to do it the Wednesday afterwards so you can get it before you get to the weekend. That's HyperionAdventuresPodcast.com. I'll also put that on social media so you can find the link. And you can email us, of course, at HyperionAdventuresPodcast@gmail.com. We'd really love to hear from you.
Right. And if you have any questions for us or anything a topic that you'd love us to cover, please let us know about that as well. And if you have some tips that we can also share with everybody, we'd love to do that. We'll give you credit for that as also.
Absolutely. We give you full credit for it. We love to hear from our listeners, and we love to tell everybody about out there who has these ideas and who you are. And we just love you guys. Now, speaking of that, all our OG Hyperion adventurers, we want to hear from you. Really, we're going to cut this off on August 31st. You are the original group, the people who were with us from the beginning. We hope to grow this thing. So we have a lot more listeners. We're growing every day, but we want you guys to be known as the OG Hyperion Adventures. So please contact us so we can know who you are and where you're contacting us from. If you found us today, and thank you for finding us, but if you just kind of stumbled across us and you want to find us in the future, you can find us on SoundCloud, on Stitcher. You can subscribe to us on iTunes and Google Play Music, and we'll come right to your phone or device. You won't need to search us out anymore. And please, if you know anybody who loves Disney kind of like you do, you think would like some of the stuff that we talk about, please tell them about us. We'd really appreciate it. And better yet, if you get on one of these sites and just give us a quick review. It only takes a few seconds. Just give us a quick review so people out there that may enjoy this podcast, if you can just find them and tell them about us, we'd really appreciate it.
Right. We really do. And again, we appreciate that you're listening and sharing that information, and please be in touch with us.
So thank you again for listening to the Hyperion Adventures podcast. We're looking forward to talking with you again next week. Our spoiler-free review of Christopher Robin, and of course, all the great Disney stories and tips that we share every week. We're looking forward to sharing with you again. But until that time, please have yourself a magical week.